Hello, everybody, and welcome to this week's episode of Powerful Stuff. It's your girl, Mare, here with you to dive in to what is going to make you your most powerful self on the inside so you can connect even more powerfully with the world and those around you on the outside. And today we have a Powerful Stuff episode that I've been thinking about in my own life the last few weeks, and that is decisiveness, being decisive, taking action, acting on our intuition, trusting in the ping, if you will. And, as I think about decisiveness, I think about truly like tapping into our innermost knowing and acting from that place and getting so much time back, because I feel like so much is lost in the wondering what if. So much is lost in the questioning and second guessing ourselves. It's an energy leak. It's a drain on our time. It's a drain on our resources of going back and forth, asking other people what we should do instead of just trusting ourselves. I'm guilty as charged. Officer, lock me up and throw away the key, but just give me a second chance. Let me decide on my own without seeking external validation. But yeah, so all of that's to say, guys, we're just going to be going in. I'll give you a little bit of my experience that I've had with decisiveness the last few weeks, some tactics that I use with clients to help them tap into their innermost knowing. And then we'll do a brief and always powerful meditation that you can do that's just a few minutes to kind of check in around a decision. So yes, that's what we will be doing today. That is what I have decided. At first today, I was like, what should I do about powerful, or what should I talk about on powerful stuff today? And then I'm like, why don't I talk about decisiveness? And then I was decisive about this podcast being decisive. So it's super meta. We're walking the walk. We're talking the talk, literally right here, right now on powerful stuff. Okay. All of that's to say, guys, decisions. We all have to make them every single day. If I looked up the data, which I did not, I'm sure it would say that there's like thousands of decisions we make every day. Maybe I want to say 36,000. Fact check me after. I don't know, but lots. And that's why people like Steve Jobs used to, wear the one outfit a day, the uniform, to make less decisions, to make his life easier. And so there's a certain, way to optimize our environment so we can maximize time. And of course, we want to leave a little bit room. I say that, and then I'm like, let's leave a little room for spontaneity. It's a yes and. But I'll firstly kind of tell you how I was experiencing it this week on a small way, and how it was a reminder for myself to be the coach my clients think I am, and kind of being super decisive about things. So we got back to Los Angeles the last month after traveling for 5 months. I'm just taking my shoes off as I'm telling you guys this story. And we had a lot of decisions to make when we got back. Like, did we want to stay in the same apartment that we've been in? Do we want to go somewhere else? Do we want to redecorate our apartment? Before we left, I was leading all sorts of events like Best Morning Ever, free events for the community, which were so amazing, but they were a lot of work and required me to, get up at 6 a.m. every Monday to create this community. And it's like, does that feed my larger, goals right now? But I do want to keep this special community alive. Shout out to everyone who I met at Best Morning Ever. You're the best. I love you. Watch this space. I decided that I'll still do once a month during the summer. So all of that's to say, guys, I felt like I just had all of these like little decisions, like little lingering energy leaks, literally down to like, when do I go get my real ID? The real ID, how it's like you can't travel after May 5th if you don't have your real ID in California, which is like the driver's license, but like the real version of it. So I just felt like I was having kind of these different energy leaks of like, should I also lead another Powerful Stuff live? And then I was trying to make time with my husband to talk about it because he's kind of like my confidant. But then we kept kicking it down the line or saving it to the end of the night. And then we were tired. And then we didn't do it. And I kind of felt like unsettled or ungrounded in my own energy, just having these like lingering questions, even though they were like relatively small. But, even the small ones, they start to like create a crack in the foundation, if you will. And these shoes are being so stubborn. I'm just going to yank it off so I can really be present with you guys. Wow. Oh my God. Okay. My computer just fell, but don't worry. The computer's okay. I'm okay. Thanks for staying with me. Wow. We're back. You're really getting like the behind the scenes, everyone. You know what they say? What is it? Like, keep rolling, keep calm, and carry on. Oh my God. Wow. You know what? That was a test. I'm literally balancing my computer on a candle so it looks like the proper height. Okay, we out here. So all of that's to say, I was just kind of having these energy leaks pile up amidst also my launch for the upgrade, which is amazing. I'm so excited for this next cohort in the upgrade mastermind. Shout out if you're any women in the upgrade listening. But yeah, so I just felt like I had these moving parts kind of following up, finalizing the launch. Should I lead these events? Should we stay in this apartment? All kind of like bigger questions, especially as Spencer and I have mentioned before, are like kind of thinking of entering into the parenthood portal later this year, a very Venetian way of saying it. But yeah, I was like, okay, I feel like this is like all these lingering decisions are distracting me and kind of draining energy and kind of leaving these like lingering wonders. And so I wrote down all the decisions that I needed to make. Did I need any more information for them? Could I act on them right now? What's a power of now around it? And I almost kind of did what Mel Robbins calls the 5-second rule, where you're like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm acting on this thing. Like I'm saying yes or no. And I kind of do this thing with my intuition, and I call it with my clients, like going to the self-trust gym, where I just close my eyes and I'm like, should I do this? And I kind of see like it flash before my eyes, like a movie screen. It's like, yes. Or it's like, should I do this other thing? And I see it flash before my eyes and it's like, no. And so I kind of trust that as like my intuitive hits, if you will. So I wrote down all the things I needed to decide. And then like, did I need any more information? If so, can I act on getting that information right now? And I would do like a power of now, like whether it's sending a message or making an inquiry. And then if it's a decision that had been lingering, I kind of was like, either the Mel Robbins 5-second rule of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm doing it. And some of those quick decisions I could do, or just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to lead best morning ever once a month for the summer and just like take it from there. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, I'm going to do a powerful stuff live in the end. And here's like the 2 different venues I'm going to reach out to first. And so I did that for all of my decisions. And at the end, I felt so much more clear-headed about how everything fits into the larger picture. And it was just a reminder of like how much more energy we call back to ourselves when we're not letting things linger, if you will. As the Cranberry said, do you have to let it linger? Do you have to? Do you have to? But linger's there's a whole different story for that song later, but it's such a good song. I think hopefully we can all agree. So anyways, I wrote down all of these energy leaks, and then I made those quick decisions. And I also call it going to the self-trust gym for these decisions of like, even like the small ones each day, like where do I go get coffee today? Where do I work this morning? What workout do I do this week? I try to use the Mel Robbins 5, 4, 3, 2, 1 rule for these things because it's also going to the self-trust gym, as I say, like a low stakes way you can start to trust yourself. Because when we start to rely too much on either other people for our decision or acting like some force outside of us is going to make the decision, it ends up draining our energy and kind of fracturing our self-trust when we say we're going to do things, but we don't do them, when we put them off. I would also ask yourself, if you're like putting off decisions, is it a form of fear? Is it the procrastination, or is the fear a deeper like root of the procrastination around the decision? What do you fear about the decision both ways? Maybe you do a deepest fear inventory around the decision, and like what would make your inner child feel reassured as you make this decision if the decision is something that's a bigger swing or stepping into being more seen. So all of that's to say, with these decisions and with decisiveness, it's a huge signal to our self-trust and using some of these low stakes things. And when you make your list, you might even write like, yeah, where am I getting coffee this week? What are my workouts? Which friends am I seeing this week? But being decisive on it, going through the list, taking your power of now actions on it, and then using that to strengthen your self-trust and the self-trust gym. Because basically what it's saying is like, when my intuition speaks, I listen. When my intuition speaks, I listen. When my intuition speaks, I listen. And then it gets stronger and stronger and stronger. And that's so powerful. And the truth with the decisions and the decisiveness is, not only is it really powerful when we rely on ourselves instead of relying on others. And that's why these low stakes things too, like, are really powerful for that. Or maybe you're always like the agreeable friend or partner in your relationship where people are like, where do you want to go to dinner? And you're like, wherever you want to go. And it's like, practice voicing your preference and just being like, let's go get Thai food. And yeah, so it has so many like positive, like deeper psychological benefits, even these small things. And then the last thing I was going to say about it is, it's never going to be the perfect time. It's never going to be the perfect time to make a decision. We can always find out reasons why we need to kick the can down the line, as they say, all the other reasons that we're not going to decide, or that we need this other person's opinion. But the fact of the matter is, that the more we decide, we make it the perfect time. We make it the perfect time by deciding, by being like, you know what, best time ever, or even as these triggers are happening, or even as I feel a little kicked while I'm down right now, this is actually going to be the perfect time. And just by me deciding, I call all this energy back to myself that was going elsewhere, and I put it toward this thing, and that's the power. And so when you decide it's going to be the perfect time, and you take like powerful action, and you're not kind of half in, half out, which sometimes we can also be guilty of doing, like half in, half out, because then we're like, oh, well, at least I quote unquote tried. But it's like, did you try? Did you really do the thing? Or were you just like using that as a scapegoat to still kind of play small, or take a lukewarm step, if you will? So TLDR, this is like such a short episode, guys. It's not even funny, but I wanted to give you guys ample time to go off and just make your decisions. Call that energy back to yourself, especially with the full moon coming up this week. You know, it's always a great time to shed, to let go, to come back to the truth of what is. So I would say step one, make the list of all the things that you haven't decided. And why? Why haven't you decided them? Is there a fear there? Is there a block? Is there more information you need to know? If there are fears, right? Write out the deepest fears. What is the worst case scenario? What do you fear is actually going to happen? And if there is a block, like, what do I need to know? Who's holding up this decision? How can I get more information to move this forward? If there's not a fear or a block, but you're just putting it off, you know, can you just close your eyes and be like, what's the right decision here? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See what flashes in front of your eyes and just like act on it. Don't overthink it. Don't spiral into weighing too many pros and cons down the rabbit hole. Just like 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. I'm going to go with this decision. And the beautiful thing about deciding is you can always change your mind, but like no decision is way worse than a bad decision, because a bad decision actually gives us data points, and it allows us to recorrect, and it allows us to perhaps even like be led on a greater path than if we had never taken that step at all. But if we never take a step, if we never decide because we're too worried about making the bad decision or the wrong decision, then we never get any momentum or data points, or even able to self-correct, because we're just sitting there stagnant. And at least a bad decision leads to growth, which then can lead to the good decision. So just decide, make the list. What's the fears? What's the blocks? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, power of now. And I like to set like a Pomodoro or 25-minute timer and just like go through my decisions and clear out as many as possible. And doing this at the top of the week as well, so you can like have the rest of your week clear for big visioning, is incredible. And then maybe doing one other little sweep at the end of the week as well, so you can enter the weekend with that clarity. I mean, what a gift that is. So with that being said, I hope you guys have a powerful decision-making list, and you do a few power of nows this week, and you tell me about it, because I want to hear. Okay, so let's do a quick meditation, and then I'll send you on your way to just, be that decision-making powerhouse that you are. So connected to your intuition, so connected to your emotions. And your emotions can also be a good indicator for your decisions, right? Our emotions are our superpowers. They're our compass guiding us. Like, what's the thing I need to lead into? What's the thing I need to release? What's the thing I need to process? And maybe a decision is communicating with someone, having an uncomfortable or courageous conversation. Maybe a decision is to play guitar instead of scrolling TikTok. I'm like asking and talking about a friend. That friend is me. Meredith, go play guitar after this. That's my decision, guys, and I want you to hold me to it. Okay, all of that's to say, let's close our eyes. Taking a deep breath in. Exhale, let it go. Another deep breath in. And exhale, release. And third and deepest breath in. Exhale, let it go. Nice, slow, deep breaths in through your nose, out through your mouth. And coming into your mind's eye, one thing that you have to decide that you've been putting off. Almost like you can feel it on a visceral level. Notice where you feel it in your body, this tension around making the decision. Just breathing with it for a second. Getting to know the energy of this decision. Letting yourself breathe into it fully. And then asking your highest self, your intuition, to tell you the perfect thing to do in this decision. Maybe you feel it, maybe you see it like a flash across your mind's eye, trusting whatever it says. Don't overthink it. Take a moment to feel the truth of that decision. Breathe into how it would feel to make it with decisiveness. Maybe as you breathe into it, you start to get a vision of that you who's on the other side of this decision. Who is that you who shows up knowing that that was the perfect decision? Just asking them for a piece of wisdom as you step into making this decision. Breathing it in, exhaling it out. And then when you're ready, open your eyes, come back into this space. Wow, that was really quick. Sometimes the mind knows. And you know what's crazy is sometimes we know what the right decision is, but we're putting it off because we're like, sometimes we're not ready to accept it yet. So you might have to ask yourself, what do I need to accept in order to make this decision? And who is that me who shows up on the other side of this decision, knowing everything is working out perfectly? Everything's working out just as it should. And as I do what's best for me, I do what's best for everyone. Good luck, everybody. Let me know what power comes from your decisive action this week. I can't wait to hear. And also, this is the absolute last week of my 12-week group coaching program, The Upgrade. It's life-changing. It's incredible. It's buying into a community of sisters for the rest of your life. 50 plus women have already gone through it. And one of my things I'm most proud of is the self-trust and the intuition people get when they walk away from the upgrade that they have for the rest of their life to use as a compass as they make decisions, as they step into their power. If you're interested, reach out to me after listening to this episode. I would love to tell you more, and I'm excited to see you next week for more powerful stuff.